Hi, Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com. Hey, I thought I would just share a quick little exercise with you today. Most of the stuff I share here is all pretty harmless. You're on, maybe the worst-case thing you can do would be to topple if you were on one leg. And I assume that if your balance isn't great and I'm doing an exercise on one leg and you want to try it, that you'd, do it near something in case you lost your balance. This particular exercise involves slightly more vigorous activity. Excuse me, I got hay fever going on here. That's one of the reasons why I want to do this today. It involves somewhat vigorous activity, and I seriously suggest that if you want to try this and you're not in pretty good health, you've got any health concerns, particularly around breathing, around your heart, cardiovascular, joint stuff, that you check with your medical health practitioner or doctor in your life and just make sure that it's safe for you to do. It's not crazy wild. It involves moving back and forth like this, and it involves doing some hand movements. But still, I do this to get my heart going, and it'll get your heart going if you do it. And if you think that you have any vulnerability there, or you think this might be risky for you in any way, please consult your medical authorities in your life. So basically what this is, it's a way to get some cardio workout that's fairly fast, fairly easy, and pretty easy on the body, not very stressful. It's not like a 20-minute, or half an hour or hour-long cardio workout that leaves you, sweating and your heart beating, and it's not one of those monitor your heartbeat type aerobic practices. But I have found it extremely valuable. My endurance has gone up, my wind has gone up, my overall fitness has gone up measurably from doing this. A good friend of mine and a student also who recently got a desk job after being an outdoor farmer, and not exactly a desk job, but an indoor job where he spends a lot of time sitting. He's joining a program to become an alcohol and drug rehabilitation counselor, and he's been just an attendant at one of the facilities as he's getting ready to start the program. So he spent a lot of time sitting. And he did the exercises that I'm going to show you every chance he got. Go to the bathroom or go on an errand or have a moment by yourself, he would bust out some sets of these things. So I'll show you that. And he has not gained weight. In fact, he has lost weight since he went from a much more vigorous job to this less vigorous job. So I think it's a good way to signal to your body that you're still in the game, that you haven't given up, that you need to be ready to exert yourself at a moment's notice. And I think when you tell your body that you're still in the game, you're still alive, it responds by marshaling its resources and keeping your health functions going. And when you do the opposite and tell your body that you're not in the game, you watch other people play the game. You spend most of your time on the computer or watching movies or playing video games. And not that these things are bad, it's just that when you spend more time doing that than in being in the physical world, engaging in the actual game of life out here, not a virtual game, your body gets the message that you're not in the game anymore, and so it just starts to slowly shut down. And you watch people who are sedentary and don't engage the physical world much, and you see it in their bodies. I did another video about swamp or stream, like having good posture and basic fitness enables your body to be kind of a flowing stream, and when toxins or insults or injuries and things happen to it, it happens in this context of a moving, healthy stream instead of a more stagnant swamp, like bad posture, being overweight with bad posture. These are ways that things that create constriction and stagnation in the body, and things take longer to move through and longer to circulate. So I call it like more of a swamp, where there's a channel of water, but there's a lot of mud and a lot of stagnation. So this is one of those things that I use to keep my body more of a stream. And I'm 65. I don't, I'm not a young guy. For one reason or another, in the past year, I've done much less biking. I bike everywhere I go. I don't drive, but I bike to work every day. But I used to, after work, I would ride around in the hills up above and come down. It was a, I don't know, mile-and-a-half ride that, definitely got me, got the heart going. But I've just not been feeling that lately, so this has been my substitute. Now, I do a lot of pad work. I have a little group, and we practice a little portion of the non-classical Kung Fu curriculum, and that involves punching. And our punching basically is hitting pads barehanded off the front foot, off the back foot, and with a kind of a step through and a few variations. But one of the variations we do is something, this little art comes from Jesse Glover, which comes from Bruce Lee. And, or Jesse was Bruce's first student. So there's a thing we do in our workout that's, it's a Wing Chun chain punch, or it's a version of the Wing Chun chain punch. And a chain punch is basically where you're replacing your fist with the other fist. Your elbows are in, they're not out here, not circular in that sense. It's kind of like a chainsaw in front of you, or links in a chain. So the elbows are in, chest is up a little bit. I do it with feet parallel, and you're just replacing one for the other. Now you're not snapping your elbow out there like that. It's not a snap. You're recovering your own momentum. You're getting to the edge, and you'd be hitting and coming back towards you. Not it's not like that. It's back to you again. So it's a very fast, and if you've seen the Ip Man movies, you know, those kind of punches. So it's that basic idea. Now we do it with pads. So the person is holding a pad like this with both hands, and sometimes they're moving around, and you hit the surface of that, which is significantly harder to do than doing it with air. Every time you hit that pad, your whole body has to firm against that hit, because the pad hits you. So we've built up our stamina to where we now do sets of 200 punches. And in our workout, we do 5 sets of 200, which is holding the pad, and the other person just hits that pad, pop, 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 and we count 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do 54s, and that's a set of 200. Now, the guy that I mentioned who does the air chains to keep his cardio going, he and I do our sets running in place while we do it. So I should say it's not exactly running in place like lifting your knees up really high. It's more like the tire drill in football. It's not as high, but it's pop, 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 pop. The weight's just going back and forth. I don't know if you can see that. But that little transfer of weight back and forth really increases the work dramatically. And so we do this against those pads. Boom, 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 boom. And we do 5 sets of 200. Excuse me. Hay fever is no joke. So our air version is similar to that, in that we do sets of 50 sets of 4, in other words, sets of 200 punches. And we're doing that with this gentle back and forth weight shift, and we're trying to sync up the punches with the weight shifts. So I'm going to show you a progression here. So the first thing is to just stand with your feet parallel, sit into the crease here, tuck your hips, check with your doctor, make sure this is safe for you, stand up straight. And we're going to start with just what I call like an assessment set. So we're just going to see how our shoulders and back and neck and pelvic crease here, the knees, how everything feels. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So you can see I'm not elbows out. The elbows are in. And I'm not snapping it, I'm not holding it. It's just like a Ferris wheel or a roller coaster, or maybe a zipper. So it's going over the top like that, right? Not elbows out, elbows in. Fist is vertical, fist is loose, held nice and comfortably, not tight and hard. You don't want to throw your momentum through tension. The only tension is when you hit. So you may have a tiny bit of tension at the end there, but not much, right? So there's that. So a good way to start this is to do a set of 10 4s, just doing that, not shifting weight, not running or anything, just doing that, and see how that feels, right? So the next step is to start shifting your weight with the punch. So right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. And an easy way to do that, if this is hard for you, for some people this is tricky. Not everybody's naturally coordinated, including yours truly. So you can put your heel down. You can lift your heel. When you put your right heel down, your left heel goes up. Put your left heel down, your right heel goes up. So you go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And get used to doing that. Get used to feeling like those shift coincides with the punch. For some, this is super easy. For others, very difficult. So my second set, I would say the first set is just an assessment set. 40 of those, 10 fours. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. The second set, shifting weight with each punch, and you can do that by dropping your heel on each one or by just shifting your weight. So that would be right, left, right, left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So that gets you used to shifting your weight with each one. Then the third set, that's where we're going to start lifting our feet and doing a little bit of an actual lift, an actual complete weight shift from one leg to the other. So you're not just putting your heel down, you're putting your foot down and lifting your other foot and putting it down and lifting the other one. So that one would be a nice, easy, slow jog, right? We're not going too fast. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Now I'm doing this indoors, and my floor is a little springy. It was a second floor apartment here, so it's gonna make the floor move a little bit. So might be a little wobble when I go a little faster. Now for some people, that's all they should do, because when they're doing the slow jog version of this, they're out of breath and they're tired, or they're feeling like, boy, if I go any faster, I'm gonna lose control of the movements. You never want to do this to the point where it breaks down and becomes chaotic, right? So for some people, that's what you do. You do an assessment set of 10 fours, and then you do a shift or weight set of 10 fours, and then you do a light jog set of 10 fours, and then you do another light set of 10 fours, and another light set of 10 fours. So that would be a total of 200 punches, and that's a nice little set, 5 tens, right? So I'll just show you what that would look like, okay? Forgive the bouncing, I really don't know how to get rid of it. So, all right, assessment set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and, oh, sorry. Shit, I messed it up. Okay, assessment set, finishing up, 9, 10, and, oh man, I'm going to start over. Take 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a fairly easy, fairly simple set to do. I have students in their 70s who do that, and they just don't want to go faster than that slow jog. And that's because of either because of their joints or their wind or whatever. And that's totally okay. The point of this is just to push yourself a little bit so that when you finish, you're a little out of breath and your heart's beating a little bit and you feel like, okay, I told my body that I'm still in the game, right? It takes less than a minute, so it's not that hard to do. Now, the next step is just to go faster. So you do a 10 assessment set, and then you do a 10 slow jog. You skip the just weight shift because you've figured it out by then. So you do 10 assessment set just to see how your posture's doing and just check in with your body, get used to doing this, and then 10 slow jog, and then each of the next 10 go a little bit faster. So you only go as fast as you can do it with decent posture and with coherent punches that are on the beat. So you're not going to just start flailing and going crazy. Which for some students, I have a student who has a Parkinson's-like syndrome, and he has a hard time coordinating this. So just doing a slow jog is plenty, and then if he forgets, it'll get a little bit like this. And I go longer, longer, make those punches long. So I just encourage that, not getting short and circular. It's oval. It's a long oval. So here's what a faster version looks like. So assessment set first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slow jog of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that one definitely gets your attention. It gets my attention. So that was an assessment set, a slow jog set, and then 3 sets of escalating speed. So remember, you're counting 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Another thing you can do if you don't like doing that is, or if it's hard to keep the counting straight, you can figure out how long it takes you to do the workout that you want to do. Just time it, and then use a timer, and you won't have to count. Just do it till the timer beeps. That's one way to do it. So the next step after that is you do a slow jog as your assessment set. So you're familiar enough with your body and familiar enough with doing this so that you just start off with slow jog, right? And then your next, the next set, the 20, the 30, the 40, the 50, you just go faster, faster each time until you reach a speed where you're verging on incoherence. Like if I just go fast, you just start to lose it, But the idea is to bring up the speed, and without losing any posture or form or anything like that. You're not going so fast that you're doing this. You get this going, and then you just get that thing going faster and faster. My hands are loose and relaxed. This is not about punching hard. It's just about that motion. And it's about using your upper body and using your lower body in connection with that. So it works your core as well, and it works your overall coordination to do this. If coordination is a real issue for you, break it down. Go really slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then shift, 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 shift. Do it slow. But if you build up to the set that I just showed you, you can just do them longer. You can go assessment, slow jog, faster, 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 take a short break, and then slow jog, faster, 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 faster. And, you know, obviously if you're getting distressing signals from your body of any kind, you stop and you rest and you check it out and maybe get some help. But for most of us, this is way less stressful than a full-on aerobics workout. I try to do this at least 5 times a day, just at random intervals. Just get up and bust out a set of 200 of these. I read some research somewhere which said that short bursts of like just kind of fast as you can go, which I think is a recipe for injury. I like to start easy and then go to as fast as I can go, fast as I can go safely, right? But apparently that's one way to get the most bang for your buck in cardio work, is to do tiny little increments but really go for it. So I'm not sure about that stuff. My lab is my body, so all I know is my stamina in periods when, you know, the guys are, you know, busy and we can't get together and punch. I do this every day, and Neil was doing this every day. And you know, when we came back to it, our chain punches on the pad were right there, and our stamina was good, our breath was good. So it's good for all those things. And personally, I think it helps up your metabolism, because it tells your body, hey, your whole body has to be ready to do this pretty much at a moment's notice. So I want to show you another version of how to do the chains and get a little bit more cardio, a little more leg work. Now this one is definitely one that you want to be careful with. I would not recommend this if you've never done squats or air squats, but basically what you do is you're going to sit into your hip crease here, dropping like this and coming up again. Some people have a very hard time doing this, and it's not necessary. This is just a variation. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these chains while I do squats. Like that. I'll give you another angle. Like that. So I'm not getting knee pain. It's all about sitting here. It's not going knees out over the toes. The knees are staying over the feet. I'm dropping into here, and I'm coming up, striking, down and up, striking and down. So it's a way of doing squats, air squats, while you do this. Now, I have determined for myself that I cannot count air squats and air punches at the same time. So I consider 20 squats to be more or less one of those sets. It's about, I don't know, it's roughly the 200 punches. I try to punch as fast as I can coherently go while I do this. So I do 20 squats with this. To me equals one of these run-in-place sets of 200, or 54s, as we call it. So just something to check out and try if you like. Again, check with your health professionals if you feel like you're at risk here. If you get any negative heart palpitations or dizziness or lightheadedness or anything, obviously don't do it. You know, this is just for people who are more or less fit already. So to review, nice circular punch like that, elbows in, fist vertical, boom, 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 and then adding a weight shift to each punch so that you're going right, left, right, left, right, left, and then a little slow jog. And try not to throw your heels out. Just keep your feet right over the ground. 1, 2, 3. And if that's enough for you, if that gets your heart going right there, then just do the slow jog. If you want a little extra, then you go assessment set, weight shift set, slow jog, and then 2 that are a little faster. And then you can start to skip the assessment set and not skip it, but do your assessment set while you're doing the slow jog. Slow jog for 10 sets of 4, and then pick up the speed, or slow jog, slow jog, slow jog, slow jog, slow jog. Do 5 sets of slow jog, get your 200 punches in. If that's what gets you going, you know, great. And I should say, this does have, I do this for, you know, basically for my wind and a little cardio, and my metabolism, to trigger my metabolism, that I got to tie everything together once in a while, or, you know, often. It does have some self-defense or martial benefit. If you can do this, You know, if you can do this with a certain amount of set in your body, and it is kind of offense and defense at the same time. I mean, obviously, someone who knows what they're doing is gonna mess with you through that, but someone who knows what they're doing might probably, you know, beat your ass anyway. So, but I tell my friends sometimes who know nothing about self-defense, and maybe there's somebody who's mad at them and they're afraid they might spark an attack or a controversial, or not a confrontation. I just tell them, just remember two things: hands up, elbows down. Okay. And you can do that in a defensive, like, hey man, I don't want any trouble, but hands up, elbows down, not this, and definitely not this. Like, hands up, elbows down, and then if things start to get crazy, just straighten one arm and straighten them one after the other. You can do it with your eyes closed. I mean, you know, if you don't know anything, I mean, this is a little bit better than nothing. Right? And it's kind of offense as well as defense, because your fists are going out there, and they're also creating a thing that the other person has to get through. Which, as I say, if they know what they're doing, they'll get through it. But if they don't, and you know, and you want to do something, hands up, elbows down, straighten one after the other. And if you do this regularly, those one after the others are going to have they're going to have more power behind them. So that is a way to do chain punching, for bursts of chain punching for cardiovascular benefit. And I can't say it enough. Please check with your. I've never actually. I don't think I've got a video in all of my hundreds of videos where I suggested that you do something that might actually give you a heart attack. So be careful doing this kind of stuff. Listen to your body. Listen to your health professionals, and just take it easy, and you can build up. So yeah, I do it regularly. I do the squats, and I do these, just either in place or with the weight shift, or with the slow jog, or with the fast one. One thing I like to do sometimes is do this to EDM, electronic dance music, because it's going do, 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 do. You know, I get in sequence with the beat, both on the ground and doing the weight shifts. Either way, get in sequence with the beat. And I know that roughly for me, about 4 minutes of all out, not as fast as I can go, but pretty fast, gives me about 1,000 punches. So I can just time it out and say, okay, I'll get in 2,000 punches with this 8-minute song. I'm not going to do 8 minutes of running, but I'll do it on the ground. Another thing you can do if you do it on the ground is you can move around. You can just think of your target in front of you moving around, and it's that one target that both hands are going for. And you can move your feet sideways, and you can go forward, and you can go back. Just keep your hip crease, keep your space between your knees, and keep that going. So you can definitely find some alternatives to this. You could do it on one leg. There's all kinds of different things you could do, but this is the basic stuff. So I hope it's helpful. Let's see, GeneBurnett.com, more information about me. I've got tip jars all over my world, on YouTube as well as on my website. A little donation is always appreciated. When I got a couple tips this week, and I was just kind of made my day. It wasn't a huge amount of money, but it's like, you know, voluntary tip on the internet for something you're offering is pretty nice. So, but that's not really necessary. The main thing is I'm hoping that I'm helpful. So if any of this is helpful to you, let me know, and we'll see you next time.